Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to Riverview here on the VIP series. I am putting the last bit of TMR that I have available into the cowshed before I head off and end the day from last episode. I'm going to be working on sugarcane next day, but I want to make sure the cows are ready to be continuing to produce slurry. Health and so forth and productivity is down a bit, but hopefully that should remedy itself. And I've topped off the TMR mixer as well. Here on the next day, you can see everything's at 100, getting the slurry up there, over 200,000 finally. And again, we're headed to 215, so we're in pretty good shape here. I think we're going to be all right. But as I said, we're going to try to now tackle the sugarcane and get this 120,000 liters taken care of. Alright, so I am going ahead. I've gotten the sugarcane equipment, and because of this mess that it was last time, I am going to go ahead here and start in the center and just, kind of get what we need. Because again, we need 120,000 liters. Sugarcane is pretty dense. My hope is that we don't have to get anywhere near this entire field, although I think I'm going to have to do more than I would think, because if I recall, it's about 200,000 liters or so, or 180,000 off this field. So to get 120,000 is going to take a bit. Now I do have, at the trailer at the end there, I do have a good amount. So I'm having the worker go ahead and work from, oh boy. Alright, so I'm trying a different route with this as well, as I'm also trying to go ahead and kind of do what's called a spiral. Given how this all worked before, I don't know if that's going to be any better, but we're going to find out in a bit here. But I don't know, I don't remember if we have half of that. I'm also trying to turn only on the field, so I think this is going to just make things a bit interesting, but it's going to take a bit of time, which is honestly why I've been dreading this work. If you've watched any of the other sugarcane episodes on this series, this is not a task I enjoy. Well, this crashed, so this isn't going to work. So it simply did one row and then it couldn't continue. Alright, so I am going to continue with trial and error here. Kind of showing the course just so you can see the complexity of this. But at this point, I'm trying to go ahead and, I'm doing the headlands, but as you can see, that first edge doesn't really work. I've now set this up with what's called racetrack. Again, a version I've never tried, but my hope is that this will be a little bit more of a circular type pattern that is going to work. But I also have, I think, 5 headland passes set, so I'm also hoping that in doing that, given that this field is not really harvested much yet and just got those 2 rows that it's taken out, that I'm going to get a good amount of what I need just by going around the field 5 times. So I'm going to continue doing that. You can see now that we've gone to the next day, the potatoes are growing. Obviously, we've got the wheat down there growing. Let's see, I think I should be good here, even without the trees removed up here. I think it's going to help a bit that we have the trees removed down there, although the turnarounds are at the end. So I'm going to continue working on this, and I'm going to be delivering the sugarcane where it needs to go to the sugar mill. And as I get closer to finishing here, I will be back and we'll see where we're at as far as the course of the day. And we'll go from there, so I'll see you in a bit. Back on here. I've done pretty well in not making a mess out of the whole process. Let's see. Why won't it let me get further away? Interesting. So I ended up dropping a good amount of sugarcane on the ground in a couple different places, so I'm basically trying to come in here and pick it up. Now, if I knew why I had a problem here, let's see, I might have to move things, it looks like. So, let's see. Yeah, I'm like not able to zoom in and out. I don't understand. Just definitely making this a little bit more challenging, that's for sure. So, I think I might have enough with everything that's on the ground to get this done. Again, not the best solution here, but out of the way here. Maybe I'll head over this way. So it's gonna have to come through. Like, see, I can obviously get where I need to with others. Now let me get this out of the way. I might need some of this, but then I'll worry about it. That's even worse. Wow. Alright. So let's see. I think we're talking about, yeah, there it is. So let me get this down. So yeah, sometimes you'll get stuff like this in Farming Simulator where like it's just behaving strangely and you don't know why. Alright, I think that got everything there. Because I need really about 6,000 liters, so I'm going to need about 3 scoops here. Alright, so I think there's some in that direction too. Alright, drop that down. Let's see. Is it gonna take it? I think it did. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna pick this up and then we'll head over. Again, we're kind of doing this a bit blind. Oh, look at that, not bad. So if I bring this down, and let me get positioned better for the edge here, because if I'm not aligned, I think I'm going to end up just creating the problem again where I'm just dumping it on the ground. Alright, well, I will say that does not look like a great spot. So let's see, 39,403. Let me go back here. Do I have a little bit on the ground, but because I also would prefer not to leave any on the ground. Just from the standpoint of, I think it's going to be sloppy. And it's just going to be things I don't need from the storage standpoint on the machine. I was going to say the server, but we're not on a server here. So let's see. So that gives me a couple hundred. The question is there more laying around somewhere in the field. I don't know that there is. So that may be all we've got. Which means I need to go kind of back here again. And I can see I'm coming up on this. I don't know. Alright. So that should allow me to do that. I'll get that. Whoops. Wasn't clear. Thought I was. Alright, so I'm just trying to get out of the sugarcane here. Back to the road. Not quite to the road. Alright, I'm going to get this put away, and then we'll come and fill up the remainder. So apologize for the crazy disjointed talking, but it's just hard to concentrate with what was going on. I just really hope I got everything. I'm kind of driving this way intentionally, because that's when I'll kind of get the bump and know. I'm thinking there might have been a little bit there, but it is what it is at this point. Alright, so I need about 400. Hopefully this will work and not drop it on the ground. So this is the challenge I've been kind of having, is trying to make sure that things go where they need to. Alright, I think we're good. Because otherwise, you know, I was doing pretty well, although it looks like I dropped a little bit there again. It's crazy. It's just such a challenge to get right in the correct location. Alright, so just because it's hard to get down the road, I've gone ahead and I just kind of head this way and drive in cab, because otherwise I'm just constantly running into things heading all the way down here to the sugar mill. So if you recall, we're down all the way at the south end of Riverview's map to get there. So we'll get ourselves locked into cruise there, and we'll head on out. We got a car ahead of us. We're not going to be unlikely to catch them. Usually the AI traffic goes faster than we go. So we get in here, avoid the walls. So once again, just really tight quarters in some cases. But now this is our long stretch. We'll head down, and this will fulfill the first of the level 11 VIP orders. So it also gives you a little bit more of a sense of the scale of the map if you've not been on this map before. It's not a giant one. I think it's a standard size map, but even on a standard size map in Farming Simulator, if you've got to go in essence from one end to the other, it's still a little bit of a drive when you're going really what probably is 26 to 30 miles an hour. Again, we're on kilometers per hour because we're here in England, and that's the measurements they use over here. Alright, so here's the water, and then the sugar mill is right around the corner here. So there we go. So we'll pull in. Obviously we'll get paid again once I move over, and this will complete the order, which really won't do anything other than turn that line green, but at least let us know that we're in good shape. So 1.2 million, we did get over that, and there we go. Sugarcane is done. So we've been getting about 15,000 a load. Hopefully I can make this turn. There we go. So I'll get back to the farm, and then we'll see what's next, because we're only at, what, 4 p.m.? So, not too bad. Alright, so we've got no sugarcane in our future, and as such, that means I can return these items, and the determination in the future will be, do we leave field 8? So I'm going to get this off the field. As you can see, we kind of hacked away at this. So that gives you an example of what it's going to what it takes to get 200,000 or 120,000 liters off this field with sugarcane. So, you know, I don't want to plant it again if I don't need to. So I'm gonna leave it until I have to use it. Going ahead and just move things off to the side here, because we've got a lot of harvesting that's going to have to happen in between. But in the interim, what I think I'm going to do with the remainder of my day here is I'm going to go ahead and fertilize. Grab the spreader. Actually, will I have to fertilize? The reason I'm asking is I think the potatoes I'm going to have to. Because that... No, that's actually... So I did get that done, obviously. Alright, but over here... That's right, the spreader doesn't have fertilizer. I'm confusing myself. I got too many things happening. So let me get up here to the spreader. Alright, this is nitrogen, so I was worried I would have lime in there. I don't quite know why I was worried about that, but I was. Alright, so just as always, as I go down the road here, I'll do what I can to get my GPS set so that I can go ahead and do this work as needed. So, get this laid out here. Go ahead and get this going. Right, so that I can talk a little bit more clearly, I'm going to go ahead and just let this get done on its own. So it's moving over to another area of the field here. And we got to get this field done, and we have to get field 42 complete. So this should now start moving along. It's going to have some challenges in some of the corners. Hoping I have enough fertilizer. If not, you know, we'll worry about that as we need to. We're going to be nearby with field 42, really near the supply area, so I don't even need to come back to the farm here. I'm at the point now that I certainly have enough money on the farm that worrying about, hey, I have some supply in the silo or something, I should go back home and pull that up, isn't incredibly necessary. You know, obviously, if the closest spot was there, you know, most of my fields are here, we'd go ahead and do that, but I don't seem to have that challenge at this point, certainly, with 1.2 million pounds able to be used by the farm. So I've got to get this field done and field 42. And I think that's all that is going to be accomplished today. And then I've got to wait for things to grow. So in the interim, I'm going to work on strawberries. So that's where I will focus my attention more than likely tomorrow. And just continue to delve into that. I don't think I'm in any danger of completing the 99,000 liters of strawberries that I need to get things done. So I'm not going to really worry about that until I get closer. But the good news is we've got one of our, I think, 6 orders done at this point. You know, going forward, we still have a pretty good-sized situation here in level 12, but then we're facing a couple smaller as far as the number of items left. We've got more potatoes there, so I'm going to have to keep those potato fields. It's also going to be important to see what kind of harvest we get here, because what I may determine is that I need a couple harvests of the field to get the 208,000 liters of potatoes. And some of the challenge with that is, again, it doesn't make sense, I think, for me to put in a root cellar. So the challenge I've got is I can only really do that. I can plant early for one planting, but then once I harvest, I then have to plant again and harvest a second time, which, requires more equipment rental and so forth, because I don't own the harvester, I don't own the planter. So we will have some challenge with those potatoes. It does beg the question of, do I get a root crop building? But even if I do, I'm still, re-renting things in multiple stages, so I guess it really doesn't help me other than it might move things along. But I need to get the grapes harvested and get those in to turn them into raisins. But they're still growing, so we're not at the point yet that I can do anything. And again, I'm so unfamiliar with grapes. The whole thing is incredibly challenging, uncomfortable, I guess, a little bit. I'm just definitely out of my comfort zone, and frankly, normally, I'm not really that worried about it, but I'm just trying to be efficient here and not create a lot of confusion in the series with just kind of bouncing around. So while this is working, and the other thing I can begin doing is transporting slurry. But, at this point I'm waiting for potatoes, wheat, and barley to grow, and I think I've got 3 or 4 months, so my focus really can be there. I can't switch to tomatoes until I'm done with the strawberries. I've got enough milk at this point, so I have enough there. I might even have enough planks. I don't remember if I started creating furniture, so I'll have to take a look at that. And, we're going to need more wheat. So once again, monitoring what I did here is going to help determine, is this field going to be able to service that? Or am I going to have to do that differently? Now, once again, I can put wheat in my silo, so I don't have a problem harvesting and then quickly turning around, replanting the field, and just continuing to get more wheat. I don't think I need the large field planted. I really am reserving that for when I need significant amounts of crop, because it's just a lot of time to work it. If you recall, it took us the entire day to plant, and it's going to take a good amount to harvest and so forth. So, alright, so I think we're good here. Alright, I thought I was going to have to turn it off, but I don't. So let me move myself over to field 42. But at this point, I think I am going to start to, I'm going to, call this done for now, because it's really all I'm going to be doing. And watching this go up and down field 42 while I get to do that. Nothing that you need to get pulled into. What I may end up doing, just for a little bit of nostalgia, deviation, whatever, I haven't done a time lapse on the channel in a while. I think it might be time for something like the fertilization to just go ahead and do that. So I will have that as my plan, and you'll get a time lapse of fertilizing to end this episode. But before I go, I want to thank everybody for stopping by and watching. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Would appreciate it if you've enjoyed watching this, if you can drop a like and subscribe, as that helps me help the channel spread and helps drive us to the goal of 1,000 subscribers, which is our next milestone for the channel. That's, I think could be a game changer, because we're going to start to, I think, hit that threshold where YouTube really pays attention to you a little bit more, and hopefully, we can continue to grow the community and get folks providing feedback, and that can lead to opportunities for series in various simulations, whether it's Farming Simulator or not, where I can throw polls out or ask for comments in the chat, and we can actually get enough responses because we have enough followers that we can make it a bit more interactive instead of simply me deciding what to do and hoping that I'm providing content that you find valuable. So once again, to aid that, I'd greatly appreciate if you drop a like and subscribe if you have not already. So we're going to jump into the time lapse. That'll run you through the end, but I'll throw some tunes on that, and hopefully it'll be enjoyable for you. So I'll see you next time.
You'll win somehow, so give up on the bottom, baby. It's hard, I know. Let the music take over, baby. I know your doubts, but it's wide open ocean, baby. Let sun pour down. We can dance in the light, oh baby. Heartbreaker, dream maker, let go of your pride.